here.
Okay. All right, so we have a quorum. I'm going to call the meeting to order. An opening prayer. Jason, would you like to do an opening prayer?
I'd be honored. Everybody bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thanks for letting us be able to gather tonight. Be with us as we make decisions that are best beneficial for the town. Dear Lord, please be with everyone as the meeting is up. Watch and protect over us from the COVID load. Dear Lord, please forgive us for our many sins. In your name, amen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We've had the roll call. The first item on the agenda tonight. We're still getting a lot of feedback from somewhere. If everyone would please go on mute until you need to say something.
Okay.
I think that would help. Yeah, that seems to have cleared it up. All right, first item on the agenda tonight is the public hearing on Ordinance 2020-06 and Ordinance amending Title 14, Chapter 2 of the Town of Somerville Municipal Code. And this will be a hearing before the second reading later tonight. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address the board concerning this ordinance? I don't see anybody raising their hand or unmuting their microphone, so I'm going to assume that there's no one here to address this at the public hearing and declare the public hearing closed. Next item of the agenda is the approval of the board minutes. You have in front of you the August 10, 2020 board meeting and the September 1, 2020 workshop that was in your packet. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, they stand approved. Comments from the community. Is there anyone from the community that would like to address the board tonight? Mayor's comments. The first thing I think we will talk about is we have Jeannie Keel with us on the 2020 TDOT multimodal grant. Bob?
Yeah,
Jenny,
let me start, Jenny, and then you can come in when your time comes. So we did not receive we sent out a letter of intent to TDOT, and we did not receive an invitation to apply for the 2020 multimodal grant. Why I asked Jenny here to take a look and see if we could get them to reapply with a better project, but I don't think they did that, did they, Jenny? No, they didn't do that. Okay, so we do have an opportunity if we wanted to that is a 95% grant, so we would only have to pay $50,000 if we had received that grant. But there is an opportunity if we want to apply for the Transportation Alternatives Grant for the same project. That again would take 3 years by the time we got to it. And we could, I think Jenny, you said you could get it in time maybe for this October 3rd is the deadline.
Yep.
Right. So that, however, is an 80-20 grant. So even though it's the same $900,000 project roughly, it would cost us 20%, actually more like 26 or 7% of that total. So because it doesn't cover engineering either. So for 900,000, it probably costs us somewhere in the neighborhood of $250,000 over 3 years. So we do have the opportunity, if the board would like to go ahead and apply for that other grant.
Now
or we can just wait till next year.
All right, and that project was to do exactly what?
Then Jenny?
That project that we applied for, I presented to y'all maybe about a month or 2 months ago, and it was going to be both sides of Main Street, right there
North.
in front of Town Hall.
Yes.
And then we turned and went down north and touched the post office and the fire department, maybe soon to be courtroom. I don't remember exactly, but we went down both sides of north. And they said that the reason we weren't eligible is because too much of the route was actually off of the state route. And so when I asked them if we could apply and take off that section and just stay on the state route, they said no. They only take 70 applications a year, and even if they would have let us, I think we would have scored in the lower 10. They have historically funded 13 projects per year. And so I don't think if we take off the connectivity, we will score high enough to be in the top 13 grants anyway. But like Bob said, I put the numbers together because I had presented to you that project. So I went ahead and changed it over within the budget form to show what it would be like if we applied for the Transportation Alternatives Grant. Mike can flip my screen. And so this is the numbers. Can y'all see that?
No.
Okay. Dang. I should have got it to Bob in time for him to put it in y'all's packet. But the out-of-pocket for the town was going to be $49,000 for the multimodal, and that increases to $265,000 if we change it to a transportation alternatives grant. So that's one thing. If you wanted to apply for a TA grant, it is due on October 3rd. So we've only got two and a half weeks to get that in. But Bob, we had also talked a couple of weeks ago about possibly doing the north side of 64, just that one block that hasn't been done.
Yes.
And I wanted to see if you were still interested in that, because I put a budget together two ways. One of which is for y'all to bid it locally and completely not go through TDOT. Budgeted wise, that would end up costing the town about $48,000 to do that one block. And if we put that as a TA application through to TDOT, again, it's going to take 3 years because we have to go through that full process. But the out-of-pocket cost then would be $55,000.
Oh, if we added it to that TA grant.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, if we made it a grant, $5,500.
No, I mean literally $55,000.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Oh, because we can't pay for the engineering through that or whatever.
Right.
I got you.
So I say all that to say it's something for you to consider. I don't know if y'all would have to bid out that north side of 64. That budget of $48,000 I have, the $48,000 is based on Bill Smith with Insight, who's already in town working on your other project. It's his budget to do that side of the street, and it would have no engineering fees. What we would do there would be a $48,000 or about, he said he could probably actually give you better numbers than that once he gets there Thursday to take a look at it. And so I didn't know if that's something that you wanted me to get with you on after this meeting, or if y'all want to go ahead and submit a TA grant. We would have to decide that tonight.
All right.
So the option on doing that piece of sidewalk on Highway 64, on the north side of Highway 64, how can we not bid that?
Well, I don't know if we did it outside of TDOT. I don't know what your town's policies are for $48,000. You probably would still have to bid it. I'm just telling you, we don't have to go through TDOT. Bob Saffin, our engineer, and I have looked at that, and I think that we could get by with my project inspection and work with the local contractor to keep y'all from having to pay a bunch of out-of-pocket engineering fees.
When you looked at that, how far did that go from the square all the way to the next corner, or just along that building, or?
It's the whole square to the corner. It would cover the driveway, the side driveway into the gas station. It's about a 200-foot span there.
Okay. That's the only place on the square that's really hasn't been done ever, yeah. I don't think.
And I mean, I just want to add, like I said, the contractor that's currently in town working said that he would those are the numbers he gave based on the TDOT job he's doing right now. He very easily, not having to have the overhead of doing TDOT paperwork, could probably give y'all a better price. But I just wanted you to have what I think might be a good estimate of the most you would have to pay out of pocket. If you have to bid that and another contractor comes in, I don't know what that would be like, but his price right now would be around $48,000.
Yeah, by that being along the highway, do we have to get any permissions from TDOT, or can we just go do that?
You can do that as long as it's a replace sidewalk situation. So if you are putting sidewalk and curb back in the exact same spot that it is now, we don't have to go through any archaeological or any sort of permissions if it's just a remove and replace in the exact location.
Okay.
As long as we're not using TDOT funds to do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't know, but my first thought is if we can do it next week for 48,000 or wait 3 years and it costs 55,000, I'm not sure that that's,
Yes.
I don't know that there's a choice to be made there.
Well, the hassle of having to work with TDOT and I mean, on a bigger project, you wouldn't get out ahead, but on this project, there's no advantage to waiting because the hassle of waiting on TDOT and the more expense, even though the expense would be spread out over 3 years, it's not, I don't think it would be worth it, but I just wanted y'all to know we've only got 2 weeks. If we're going to apply for the TA, we would really have to get on that now.
So what she's basically asking, Mayor, is if we are interested in applying for the 2020 TA grant to do the north side of Main Street, 1 block, and then actually the northwest side would be 2 blocks, and then making a left turn on North Street and doing 1 block on both sides of North Street.
Yes.
Which would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was cost us 265. Is that what you said, out of pocket?
Mm-hmm.
Over 3 years.
265 over 3 years.
Right. So the bulk of that would come in the construction year. The 200,000 would come in the year of the construction on that. The rest of it will come over the next 2 years during the design phase.
You know, I'm looking at all of that now on Google Maps, and I've also, of course, been through there all the time. I just don't, I personally don't see where we need to spend $1 million of anybody's money replacing those sidewalks. Is my own personal thoughts on it.
It would have definitely been nice to been able to get that $1 million for $50,000, but I agree with you. I mean, that same project costing 265 makes it not as good of a deal.
What about the rest of the board? Comments?
I agree with you, Ronnie.
I'm sorry, Ray, you said, what was the comment you said about spending the $1 million of somebody's money? What was that comment?
My comment was that I didn't think that looked so bad that it needed to be $1 million spent in that block, regardless of whose money it was.
Okay, now which, I want to make sure I'm right. Which is this now?
All right, this would be along North Main from the square down to the street where the post office is.
Okay.
And then you would turn at the post office and go over in front of, over to Northwest Street.
Okay. And that's it?
That's it.
Okay, well, I can't think of her name. Jenny, when Jenny was talking toward the gas station, that kind of confused me a little bit.
Well, that's a different project.
Yeah.
We're also, and I apologize for making it confusing, we're also talking about along Highway 64 from Rosser's building there on 64 down to the service station.
Is that the one that she was talking about, the contractor now, roughly $48,000?
Right, that's correct.
Okay, okay.
So it's two different projects. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. I just,
Two different things.
once she said a gas station on one and then, post office, firehouse and all that on the other, I just got a little confused. So the front of the post office basically for 3 years could cost us $260-something thousand, correct?
Right.
And the
That is correct.
one down by the Chevron could be roughly $48,000 a day.
Right.
Okay. I am now caught up.
Okay.
We'd still have to bid out that $48,000 contract.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. If I don't, does anybody want to make a motion in regard to applying for that grant?
Well, I'll make the motion that we'll apply for it, but not necessarily, I mean, motion that we apply for it.
Oh, to spend $1 million.
Oh, no, I rescind my motion, no.
Okay.
I thought you was referring to the 65. No, I will rescind that motion to spend the $1 million.
Okay.
So
Thank you,
on the
sir.
smaller project, Mayor, we can just, I can talk to Jenny and we can kind of put something together for a bid spec. And then we
Bring
can
that to the
present it at the next
November-
workshop.
Yeah, bring that to the next workshop.
Okay, I can do
Is
that.
that agreeable with everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Jenny.
The next item, do we want to go to since Jim is with us, do we want to go first to the second
Yeah.
reading on the zoning ordinance,
Yeah, I think so, Mayor.
which I think would take less time than what Ellen will be taking.
Yeah, I think so too.
If no one objects, we will take up item 10, a motion to adopt ordinance 2020-006 on second reading.
So there was some discussion about part 4 there, section 1, repealing that paragraph 4 and replacing it with that language there about the appeals of zoning appeals decisions by going to court. So what I suggested last time was that the board adopt this ordinance the way it is written and then have the planning commission review that section thoroughly. I've already started working on reviewing other zoning ordinances, see what other towns in Tennessee are doing. And I think Jim's doing a little work on it too. But other than that, you know, this is actually leaving the language exactly the way it is, except for that last sentence, unless otherwise specified in this ordinance, is the only thing we really added to the ordinance. So we left that writ of certiorari going to court of competent jurisdiction. That was already in the ordinance as presented there. So really, the bulk of that paragraph did not change.
Okay, is there, before we get into any discussion, is there a motion to approve on second reading the ordinance 2020-006?
I move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to pass ordinance 2020-006 on second reading. All right, now we are open for discussion. Is there any discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Would you take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. Mike,
Yes.
Sandra,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
I don't think James made it. James, are you there? Nope, that's it. Four ayes, motion carries.
Okay. With that, we will move back to the 2020 Community Development Block Grant we received from the state for $420,000 to go toward the cost of the new firehouse. So let's go into that.
So wasn't that long ago, they were telling us basically we didn't have a chance. Then we had a really good chance. Then we didn't have a chance of getting this at all. And then I think part of the COVID probably helped us get this grant. I don't really know that for sure, but I would say that helped us over the edge there. So this is actually $420,000 in cash. Our match would be the other part of our project, which, you know, is significantly more than $420,000. A match on this grant would have been $80,000 initially. So we're going to far exceed that match. So that's $420,000 in cash against the cost of the firehouse, which at 2.25% for 40 years would save us approximately $16,000 a year in payments out of the general fund, which I think is fantastic.
So the rate on the rural development loan is down to 2.25%.
Yes, sir. And it resets on October the 1st. So the way rates are out there, who knows?
But now we're locked in on the lowest rate, right?
At 2.25, we're in it. Yep.
Okay. And that's 40 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I had talked with Bob and Ellen about when the sales tax did not pass, about cutting back the size of the project. And I think Ellen has put together some figures and some new drawings, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, I'll just turn it over to you, Ellen.
Bob, can you share those?
I've got the figures up here, Ellen.
Okay, we can start there. I'm just going to do a real quick summary.
Can you make that a little bigger, Bob?
Yep. Hang on. I'm going to make it bigger and then zoom in. Okay. How's that?
All right. That's good.
All right. Like Mayor said, Bob and Mayor Ronnie and I met a couple weeks ago, and he asked me to, since this was before we learned that we received the grant money, look at ways we can lessen the cost of this structure. And so we looked at, you can look at square footage, raising your budget, or changing the materials. So we looked at all those aspects. We looked at removing, we have existing right now shown as 3 bays, apparatus bays, taking that down to 2 bays. And we did not accept any of the alternates that we looked at back last year in October. So now we did that exercise, and you can see there's, Bob, if you can scroll to the back page where I redid a project cost showing the reduced square footage. It went down.
Right here, Ellen.
Yeah, yes, well,
That's
I
the
have it.
original one.
Yes, sir.
You want the next one?
That's
There you
those are the backup of what the cover sheet shows. I have the project cost shown in blue. On the first sheet you had, Bob. They basically brought it down from 2.3 project costs down to 1.8.
Go all the way back to the front, Bob.
Yes, down at the bottom.
Right there.
Yes. Project
So
cost.
that's really a savings of almost $580,000.
Yes.
Because we changed the layout of the building a little bit too.
We did, and we subtracted a lot of square footage, and we did not accept any of the alternates, and changed the roof structure, and it is all pre-engineered metal building. So we do have a brick skirt, which goes up to around 3 foot.
That's what it would look like right there, Ellen.
Yes, sir. It was basically, you know, it's not a pretty colored drawing. I did this to help with pricing. We sent it to the contractor to get a better price or updated price with the reduced square footage. So yes, that would be just a single gable roof running north to south. We'd keep our entry elements, and that's showing 2 apparatus bays.
Okay, and you left the rest of it the same, right? The offices, the living quarters, all of that still the
Yes.
same.
Yes,
The only
floor
thing you
plan-
cut was the 1 bay.
Yes, sir.
Yep, there's the diagram of the building with 2 bays on it, Mayor.
Okay,
Is-
now will 2 trucks fit in one of those bays?
Yes. More than
So we
likely, they'll have a pumper on one side, a ladder on the other side, the brush truck, and then the rescue one on the other side. So you're not going to really have 2 big vehicles back to back. But I think 2 big vehicles would still fit in here.
We did not change the length of the bay, just removed a width of 1 bay.
Okay,
And you didn't change the size of the other part, the administration part and the living
sir.
quarters.
No, sir.
I got a question. Are the bays on the side of Old Jackson, or is that still on the back side of the station?
The back side,
So that means if they were to pull out of the station, they would have to pull out on Ladder Lane or what is that?
East Street.
East Street?
Yeah.
Not Ladder Lane, East Street or Marginal, right? Not Marginal, Market Street, right?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
not Market down there. It's
Or was it called Midland Street? Is that
Midland.
it?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
And yes, the site plan didn't change.
Well, I'm just trying to get a picture of how it
Yes,
looks
sir.
here on this picture.
Yes,
I
now
sir.
want
the
to get my
bays,
bearings. Get my
the
bearings
bays
right.
are on the south side of the building, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
So
And
what
that-
you're looking at, the front porch is toward,
Old
Okay.
Jackson.
no,
Yes. The left-hand side fronts Old Jackson.
right, but
Well, there's 2 porches on there. There's a side porch and then there's the front entry.
the front
element.
entry is to East
East
Street,
Street.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now we don't have those pictures available to us right now, right, Bob? This one right here.
We
There
don't
you go.
have, we haven't been able to make a pretty color picture of it yet. Because we're talking about it this week.
Color part. I just the layout and the way
It's going to be basically the same layout, Jason, except it'll have
Yeah.
1 less bay on it. I think, didn't you give me a
bay
drawing
right
with
there.
that cut off?
I did. It was,
It was not on your email though. Okay, I have it here somewhere. Wait a minute, I'll get it up here. Wait a second.
I do
What
have
So you can see
one
right
question
here,
for-
yes,
you
perfect.
can see right here that there'll be some asphalt savings, some concrete savings, some
Yeah.
asphalt road here, and plus the 2 bays. So she's shown you that right there. And of course, the ridge beam, there'll be 1 single ridge beam, so there'll be 1 single roof element here.
Now, would the exterior would be metal siding, except for the brick skirt?
Yes, sir. On that option we just did. And I want to say, you know, with the marketplace, whether or not we entertain COVID hungry at the time we bid this. Hopefully, we can have built in our bid documents, ad alternate or several ad alternates like we did entertain before. And we have like a little shopping list at bid day, whether or not we can add all brick and things like that.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Ellen has added a shop at the river that's a metal building and it's very attractive.
Do you have pictures?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't get pictures.
Well, you'll have to drive up there and get pictures.
Okay, I'll try to do that next time later. But it is very attractive, you know.
So
Thank
we
you.
did discuss the additive alternates of adding all brick and adding block into the bays. And really, the smaller footprint really isn't going to save a whole lot because, you know, you've got maybe, you know, tops 40 running feet of brick you would save when the brick goes all the way around the entire exterior of the building. You're talking maybe 7% we would save off that $74,000 there. If you see what I mean, right here, 73.6. And then I can't imagine we would save more than 10% on that other block, the block bays either. So it's not a great savings, but we could put that as additive alternates in the bid.
Right.
Didn't we talk about putting a drive on the Old Jackson side?
Yeah, that's on here too, Jason, if you can see it on your screen right there.
I thought and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the actual entrance to the station, like where the public could access it, or even if it was just the front entrance, I thought that was going to be on. Isn't that on Old Jackson side, or is that on
No, it was-
Midland?
See, it was always over here, if you can see. It was always
so it's
on the
right there.
west side of the building.
Okay. Okay.
So really, the project with the $420,000 could wind up costing 1.35 instead of, well, 2.3 minus 420,000. That's a significant savings.
Could you go back to the drawing of not the colored drawing, but the other one that shows the layout of, that one.
You want the floor plan, this one?
Yeah, the floor plan, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. It's exactly the same floor plan. They haven't changed anything.
Okay, so that's what I want to see. So there is a room for them to work and repair, like on air packs or tools or any, that's that maintenance room, right?
Right here, yep. And that
Okay,
only enters in through the bay.
Yes. Okay.
And the washroom only enters in through the bay. Right this way.
Now, are we still looking to maybe have an alternate 911 dispatch center?
Yeah, nobody's
on this
talked to us
project?
about that. That would fall on the county to do that, and would require a hurricane safe or a tornado safe room. So I don't know. That would put us back significantly in time, I believe.
I didn't know if we were still including that in these plans or not.
No,
No,
I don't think so.
we ever discussed that, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I don't think we ever. Yeah. Sorry.
So Sandra, did you want to say something?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I have another question for Ellen. As far as the sleeping quarters, do they have to be divided like that, or would it be a little less cost effective to just make that one open sleeping quarters? Because that would be 3 interior
Well, it's going to
walls.
create, Jason, it'll create an environment where we can have multiple sex people in there. I mean, we can have women and men in the same building. So we can, we won't be limited to just men. If it's all one thing, it would be just men. without separate sleeping quarters, you would have only men in there or only women.
Well, the reason why I was thinking that is that each room would have to be individually set up for, the intercom system, and then there's
Right.
3 interior walls. Now, I was just thinking and looking at that might be, might shave off a little bit of money. I don't know how much, but it's just a thought. And I can
Right.
see what you're talking about, leaving at least one room or for female occupancy, for that, sure.
I personally like the idea of providing some privacy for the firefighters.
That's what I was thinking.
Especially if you snore a lot.
Well, right
Okay.
now with what we have, you just have one person basically on duty, but eventually if we have more than that, I just think it'd be better to have individual rooms.
I agree.
Well, I think we'd have a better chance of having volunteers stay, overnight and sometimes, and it would just give us more of an opportunity to staff that firehouse with volunteers if they had separate rooms.
What they've gone to in Germantown is they have 2 rooms with a bath in between, so that 2 rooms
That's a nice setup.
share
Like a Jack
one
and Jill?
bathroom.
Like a Jack and Jill.
Well,
bathroom?
no, it's a complete bathroom in between 2 rooms, and when you go in there, you can lock the other room out, so you
Right.
can have a private bathroom. And that way you can have, you can actually have a woman and a man
Yeah.
sharing those rooms, because you don't ever have to come out of your bedroom to go to take a shower or anything.
So on that note, does the showers? I know you had to have a separate bathroom that's specifically for men and women,
Right.
I think. But what about the showers? I mean, could that be universal? And like
Well,
Ronnie's talking about, if there is a female on duty, she just had to lock the door or is it all encompassed in one? I really can't tell by the drawing.
Well,
I think those bathrooms are 2 different bathrooms, aren't they, Ellen?
yes, right.
They
women's in
split
the
down the
middle.
middle there where there are 2 bathrooms there with showers.
Correct.
Where it says bathroom in?
Yeah, that's actually 2 bathrooms. There's gonna be a wall
Okay.
there.
Okay. I see 2. Well, it'd be my right. The unisex, that's the multiple use bathroom, right?
That's off the apparatus bay.
And that enters in from the apparatus bay only.
Yes.
Okay, where's the one that enters on the inside?
Right here.
Yes, that's what, it was just concepts with that whole bathroom has not been
Oh,
developed.
so where it says bathroom is a combination of bathroom and shower, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Any comments? How quick does the grant come into play?
I think we have at least 2 years to administer that grant. What we've done with previous CDBG projects is to get it done within 2 years so that we can apply for a CDBG every 2 years. So we will not be able to apply for CDBG next year. We'll have to wait until unless this project's done before next year, which I don't think that's happening. But if it's done prior to February of 22, I think we'd be able to apply for the next grant cycle. So, excuse me.
Okay.
As far as the USDA loan, a portion of this, we have a somewhat of a deadline in February to get to a certain point where we could tell them how much we are going to borrow from them so they can reserve that money. So we'll have to do a design before that and get it bid out before we can do that. Now we can get a little bit of an extension probably on that, to get past that February 1st or February, whatever date it is exactly, deadline. And I think we can get an extension on that to help us with, well, the design of this building and then the design of the old firehouse for police headquarters, and then show the USDA how much we're going to borrow from them at that point. I think there's a resolution or something we have to sign or get approved before we to let them know how much money we're going to borrow.
All right, so is the next step to finalize the plans and start actual construction drawings?
Yes, sir. We could go on this and start construction drawings, I believe. We could get Ellen to start working on the drawings. It may take, what, 6 or 7 months, Ellen, for that process?
Yes, sir. Maximum.
Right.
6 or
So-
7 months for the drawings?
Yeah, maximum.
All right, well, we don't have that much time between now and February.
Well, we can get a little bit of an extension with USDA.
All right, so what does the board want to endorse this plan and instruct Ellen to start the construction drawings, or do we want to wait and take this back to a workshop next month, or have a special meeting? Or I don't want the board to feel rushed on this. Even though we do need to be in a hurry, I don't want anybody to feel like this was forced because of deadlines that we had to do something. So I'd like to hear from the rest of y'all what you want to do.
Could we have a special meeting sometime on it
We
in the
can.
next week or so?
We can.
I agree with that. I'd like to see a little bit more detailed drawing of what we're going to send to be like sent to Ellen to say, hey, these are the construction plans we want. I'd like for it to be a little more detailed and a little more like the porch. I didn't even see the porch on the other drawing. I would just like to see a little more before we go ahead and say, yeah, and then we
Okay.
come up with something and it's not what we really wanted.
Okay.
I'm all for a special meeting next week to talk about it.
Can I add to that, please?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, this is very schematic concept drawing, and once we get started, we're not going to just go with it and bid it out. We'll at each phase of our design, we'll come to you and show you our design and get your blessing on it. This is the plan we've been working on for, I guess, 2 years, just to get some pricing and layout, and very condensed to stay within our budget. But I just want to say it's not like I'm just going to go with it after we approve. I'll come to you and show you the plans along the way.
Okay. Mike, I haven't heard from you.
I'm fine with everything, Mayor.
Oh, well, good. All right, so do we want to have a special meeting next Monday, say? That would be the 21st. So that, because the board members, Ellen, the board members don't have these documents in front of them. All they're seeing, if they're like me, is they're seeing it on a 8x14 screen, and half of that. So if we could get, I think what we have here would be enough drawings if the board just had them in front of them and could see them on paper, which we could print out at City Hall.
I wish we could have a real meeting.
Well,
wear
we
masks
can.
Wear masks and kind of distance ourselves.
We can if you want to. I told some people yesterday, I don't mind being in a large room with a small group of people, but I'm not
Right.
going to be in a small room with a large group.
Large
of
group of people. I understand, and I agree.
people. So yes, if we can get, Bob, could we get the University Center next week on Monday?
Yeah, I don't
night,
think there's any
you
problem with
think?
that, Mayor. They're not really having too many live classes out there, Mayor.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Would Monday the 21st suit y'all?
Suits me.
Jason, what's your schedule?
I'll have to work next Monday, but if we could do it at 7 o'clock like we do regular meetings,
Yeah,
I'm sure I could make it.
okay. Does that work for you, Mike?
I'm fine, Mayor, whatever y'all say.
Sandra?
Works for me.
All right, let's see if we can call a special meeting for 7 o'clock, Monday, the 21st. At in-person meeting. And Bob, if you could get these drawings at least to everybody so they could at least have a paper copy to look at.
Yes, sir, I can do that, no problem.
Would
And
you
Judy
mind
and
bringing?
James might could be there,
Yes,
you know, where we have just about everybody. Well,
Right.
maybe John David could even come. I don't know. Maybe we could all be there.
okay, if you would set that up, Bob, and advertise that.
I will.
Would
We'll be
would
able
you
to advertise it on the door and online probably, because Carolyn can't get it in the paper for tomorrow. So, well,
Can the fire chief be there also?
sure,
Okay.
I'm sure he'd be more than happy to be there.
Okay,
Can you provide the old drawings as well so we can just compare? If you don't mind, or at least,
Yeah, they're all still right here too.
okay,
So-
thank you.
all
Yes,
right,
sir.
could you put that together as a package and get that out to everybody, Bob, so that we'll have
I can.
all these drawings to look
Yep.
at before we
Yep.
get there? Well, I guess Ellen, Alexandria, can you be there next Monday night?
Yeah, somehow my daughter and I share the same iCloud, and anyway.
Well, that's convenient for you. You can spy on her anytime you want then.
Yes, I believe Monday night is, I was afraid to switch over and check my calendar, afraid I'd mess something up, but I'm pretty sure it's fine.
Okay. All right, so we will plan on a special called, and we will make this a called meeting, Bob, not just a
Yes, sir.
workshop, for Monday night at 7 o'clock at the UTM Center.
Yep. Okay,
All right.
I've got it.
Any more questions on that? And if anybody has any specific questions and they want to go by and sit down with Bob to look at these or whatever, just please do that. And if you would make sure that Judy, James, and John David, if you would get word to them as soon as possible
Yes, sir.
so that they can plan accordingly.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Ellen.
you. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Is there anything, actually, I would like to pull off the cemetery headstone repair from the consent agenda. I've got a couple of questions there. Does anybody else have anything on the consent agenda that they want to take off the consent agenda for discussion?
No.
All right, then is there a motion to approve the consent agenda with 9.1.3 being removed from the consent agenda?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Sandra, did you vote aye?
I said aye.
Okay, and I vote aye, so that is unanimous, 4-0, to approve the consent agenda minus 9.1.3. And so let's take up 9.1.3 now, the cemetery headstone repair. Now, these repairs, are they also going to clean all of those or just repair them?
Wendy, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, there are a few, that was actually one of the questions I had. There are a few that say clean and repair. The other ones just say, like the number 29 there, it just says fix.
Right.
I can find that out. That was actually one of my questions too. And I've been in contact with him. So I will definitely, I think it includes cleaning, but I can make sure.
Well, I'm not, and the reason I asked that question is because I'm not sure about cleaning.
Okay.
I mean, I know the ones that we have to repair, I guess we almost have to clean them to keep the repairs from sticking out like a sore thumb on the.
Well, and I would think to adhere, they're going to have
Yeah.
to clean, and rough that up to make everything adhere.
Well, and that's what, but some of those, quite frankly, if we could repair them without cleaning them, that would be okay with me too.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm just one person. I did get one letter from a person kind of objecting to the cleaning.
Sure.
Because, and I know some of the rest of y'all may have had some comments about that too.
Looks like really only 2 of them are set to be clean, Mayor.
Well, that's
one
what I was.
headstone there, and then those 12 headstones in a row.
Right, that's the only ones that
those right
say
here.
cleaning.
Yeah, this one says level and clean all, number 30.
And it may be that they're just planning on cleaning the ones that are pretty bad. Those 12 stones right there, I don't even know that you could read them.
Right.
They are pretty rough. What they do is they're using a completely biodegradable cleaning solution. So it doesn't harm anything around it. It doesn't eat up the marble or any of that.
But I think what people have a problem with, Mendy, is
it looking
cleaning
brand
them,
new?
taking the age off of them.
And I get that. I think some of the patina will come back a lot quicker than we expect, but I do get it. I get, when they look brand new and they're the oldest ones in the place, it is kind of, shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll make a heck of a bit of difference just setting them back up and
I
straight
agree.
and getting the obelisks put back on and fixing the fences and, just
maybe
fixing the thing up.
We could ask if they could clean them up, but not so aggressively.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to
Maybe
know
where
what
you could read them a little bit or something.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, just to make it legible.
Well, I'd like to know what I'm buying.
No, I understand. And that was actually one of the things that I had kind of thought of. Some of them just say fix and some of them say clean. So I get that. And I can verify that tomorrow.
Mayor, was the
Go ahead.
complaint in the letter that it was deteriorating the historical value by cleaning?
No, basically it just said that I wished you would stop who's ever cleaning those up, that they're supposed to look old.
Okay.
Which is true, quite frankly. I mean, those, those 3 we cleaned up really stick out and stand out now.
Right.
But of course, we had to repair and level those. So without cleaning them, they'd stand out because of the repairs.
Yes.
It would be new against the old. So,
Right.
you almost needed to clean them to make them look better.
And you couldn't read
I thought they would never be able to clean them so well. I never in a million years would have thought that they would have been that white.
Look like that,
after
yeah.
cleaning.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we just obligated to fix and repair what is broken in the cemeteries?
We're not actually obligated to do any of this.
Oh, really?
Right.
Well, we just want it to look good and take care of it while there's something there to take care of instead of crumbling a little more.
Well, it's just out of respect.
Restore them. I think we want them restored, but maybe not clean.
I would
that
like
much.
to see the markers, the monuments, or I like to see them repaired and fixed. But I'm a very nostalgic person, and I believe in that kind of stuff. And if we can't read the marker, I mean, I hope we got some kind of record indicating who would be, who is buried there.
We do.
Just in case that there are some that is not legible.
We
But,
don't, in the oldest part, we do not have that. And some of the newer sections, we do.
Okay.
But the kinds of things that you're looking at here, we do not have a record of what's there.
Oh. I just think we should make the cemetery presentable. If the markers need leveling or fixed to where they can be presentable, like when they were placed there, the cleaning part. I could go either way on that, but I would rather see the old, weathered markers myself. But I do think repairing them and making them look decent is I think that's a good idea.
So do we want to approve this tonight, or do we want to get a little more information before we approve this, or what's the board's will? Sandra?
Maybe Mindy, you can talk to them and tell them there's, ask them if they can clean them, but not quite so stark white, maybe. I don't know.
I can definitely do that. I can request that the cleaning is not so aggressive, just to fine tune them as much as they can without taking that patina off. We can certainly, check that.
Right. I don't know. What do y'all think? I don't know. I want to say one thing, Bob. To me, it's one of the prettiest monuments in the cemetery when you come in the main entrance. On the right-hand side there, it's just kind of rough-looking granite, and it's got an oval name in metal on it, on the front of it.
Uh-huh.
Do y'all know where I'm talking about?
No,
It's
I
got
don't
about
know.
7 or 8 trees that have come up pretty small, not real small, maybe 2 inches in diameter, right at the tombstone. I mean, I think there is a boxwood there that we need to keep, but these are just junk trees that have come up, and they're really taking over the monument. We need to get them cut now before they grow and crush it or something. Do you know where I'm talking about? It's kind of a rose-colored, just looks like chipped out, big monument, oval monument.
I think so. Yes, ma'am.
See if the guys can cut those trees down around it.
Okay.
Because I'm afraid they'll damage it, and it's also covering it up, and you just can't see it as well, and it's so pretty.
That is the Bowers Monument.
That's it. You're right.
Yes.
You're exactly right, Ronnie.
Yes.
Don't you think those trees need to be cut out of there?
Yes, if they're just wild trees next to the
They
monument,
are.
yes.
The only thing that was planted there, I'm sure, was that boxwood, and it's not very big at all. So if they could do that, that would be nice.
Okay, if I were to make a motion that we approve this with the understanding that Sandra and Mindy will work with the monument company to resolve the issues that have been raised, would you be agreeable to that, Sandra?
Yes.
Mayor, I'll
All right,
second.
All right, I so move, and it's seconded by Mr. French. that this be approved contingent on Sandra and Mindy working through the issues that were raised with the monument company.
Okay.
Okay. That'll be fine, Mindy. We can meet whenever you want to.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I just want to make a comment that I think this is going to be a good idea. As far as, to me, one thing it is it's showing respect from the city to the people that have been laid to rest, you know, to fix their monuments or their markers. And whether we're obligated to it or not, I think this will be great. And if we clean them, okay. If we don't, okay. So I just wanted to make that comment.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Would you call the roll, Bob?
Yes, Sandra,
Yes.
Jason,
Aye.
Mike,
Ah,
Ronnie.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, that
Motion carries.
motion passes 4-0. Next item on the agenda, we have taken care of the zoning. Number 10. 11 is review and consider awarding a 1-year town square flower bed maintenance contract.
I'm working on it. Okay, we had 4 bids go out, and we received 2 back. And we opened the bids last Thursday, and the low bid is Carter Landscaping. Carter Landscaping is from Collierville. They also do the McDonald's property. AJ Lawn and Landscape is a local business in Fayette County.
Okay, is there a motion on this?
Can I ask a question first?
Yep.
Is AJ, do they have any projects like McDonald's? Anything commercial like that?
I don't know the answer to that. I know that he has recently started his own business. He was doing this on the side and was working for Chickasaw. Now he's gone off on his own and has created his own lawn business.
Oh,
That's all I know.
okay. So who are we taking the bid for, Ronnie? The low bid? We're going with the low bid. Is that the motion?
Well, that's normally what we would do,
Okay.
is to motion to accept the Carter's landscaping bid.
Okay. Well, I'll move.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the low bid of Carter's landscaping. Now, this is for 1 year.
Yes, sir. Well, it gives us a
And how
chance to see
often
whether
are they
we like
coming?
Carter. It gives us a chance to see whether we like the service and it works for us. And if we like the landscaping company, and then we can rebid it again next year.
Okay. How often are they going to do the ones uptown?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Okay, that ought to do.
When does the contract start? As soon as this motion is
October
passed?
1st.
Okay.
And what about the courthouse? What have we found out about the courthouse?
Well, I think we needed to award this contract first before we get to that point, because that's really going to be with Skip.
Yeah, basically what I'll probably do is I'll contact Carter Landscaping tomorrow, let them know that October 1st is when the bid will begin. Their first visit over here, whenever they choose to come out, I'll take them through the courthouse, ask them what their annual maintenance for, the beds and the mowing and all of that, the tree trimming, and digging out a few things. We may, tell the Skip, hey, this is a one-time deal to get it straight, and then this is your every 2 week maintenance fee. Or if they just want to give us, one lump sum. I don't know which way he's going to really want that. But we haven't even done that. We wanted to get this awarded first before we
Okay.
started with the courthouse.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Carter's Landscaping at 15-9 for 1 year. Would you please call the roll?
Mike,
Aye.
Sandra,
Aye.
Jason,
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
It's approved 4-0.
Motion passes 4-0.
Yep.
The number 12, Tennessee Downtown Grant Project.
This is a list of expenditures that we would like to put towards that $15,000 project. Basically fixing up the Fair Theater and adding a mural to the museum wall on the east
Now,
wall.
these are not approved yet by the downtown committee, but these are what we're going to present if the board approves these ideas. I'm waiting from Ken Goldsby to get a price for the mural on the museum wall, as well as the fair custom lighting. And we'll have a workup of what the mural would look like, obviously, and what the neon lighting would look like prior to doing anything. But these are the items that I would like to present to the downtown committee as well as to TNECD. At first, you know, they were kind of like, we're not sure about the mural, but they said, you know what, leave it in. We think that would be a huge impact for your downtown. So there's a good chance that that might pass. But again, you will see, you know, a workup of the mural from Ken, and you'll also see the neon custom lighting.
And number 4, I have the same thing twice. Number 4 is actually a new sign for the front of the building.
Yes.
You know, the changeable sign. So you don't have to put the letters on the outside of the sign anymore.
I don't understand what you're going to do. What?
So the message board, basically, it would either be a new message board, or he would cut that message board in half and put theater permanently on the top of it, like the old, you know, the old pictures that we've taken a look at. He's just going to try a couple of different things and see what will work. So it might be a brand new message board with something on it permanently, you know, the theater portion, half of it permanently, or it might be, you know, painting it and getting a new message. We're not really sure until he shows us what he's come up with. So it's a new sign. We just don't really know what kind of sign.
Well, if it's one of those message boards, it's electronic. You're not going to do that for $3,000. That's for sure.
Oh no, not that. It would be the message board with the letters that you put on there with the stick.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't be one of those. But that would be a neat idea.
Okay. So this is the concept that you would go back to them for approval, but you would also come back to the board with drawings and show us what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I would
Okay.
come to both committees. I would come to the board as well as the downtown committee to make sure everybody approved.
Now, the downtown committee.
That is Betsy Lewis, Miss Sandra, Tim Stans, myself, Bob, and Tammy Lewis.
Okay. So the task force.
Yeah, basically. A variation of the task force.
Okay, the downtown committee was new to me. I wasn't sure I had appointed one, but
Well, it was one of those things that they requested for the downtown grant. They just wanted some people from the boards to be on there to attend the meetings.
Hey, Ronnie, you could join with us.
We would love to have you.
oh, I'd be glad to.
Mayor,
Okay,
I'd like to join.
right.
Let's put them on it. Can we, Mindy?
Absolutely. The more the merrier.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
All right. Is there a motion to approve this concept with the understanding that this would all come back before the board?
I think so.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this concept. Is there any discussion? Would you please call the roll?
Mike,
Aye.
Sandra,
Uh,
Jason,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carries.
Next item is the motion to approve using the 10 CARES Act money. Let me get this up here so I can read it.
Sorry.
10 CARES Act grant of $48,000 to purchase a 2021 Chevy Silverado long bed crew cab pickup truck and a 2021 double cab from Wilson County Motor on state contract. Total purchase price is $49,986.30 with a net cost of $1971.30 to the general fund. And we
Right.
have a pre-approval letter.
What are these vehicles going, what department are they being used in? Well, I mean, if it's general fund, we had, is it what, street department?
Yes.
Okay.
One of those vehicles was
Oh.
scheduled to be replaced next year, and the other one we're replacing because we have a grant.
Okay. Is all of them going to the street department and all that?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
They'll be in the general fund.
Okay. Do we need a motion? Are we at that point, Ronnie?
Yeah, I was just trying to glance at this letter. This letter does say that they approve that.
Yes, so down later on, it says, based on the facts and circumstances provided to Horn LLP by Somerville, we have determined that the expenses are eligible under the terms of the CARES Act and regulation of the U.S. Treasury, as well as the Tennessee Local Government's CARES Act program. So they have approved those purchases for us.
All right, and the eligibility and ultimate approval depends on a detailed narrative describing the expenses
Which they've already gotten up here.
and adequate well, but they're calling for it again in this letter.
Yes, I think there are going to be some paperwork that we have to fill out, but we're going to get that grant.
Right, but we're going to make sure that that's approved before we actually purchase the two trucks.
Yes.
Because the way I read this letter, they've said yes, that they will, but they want more information.
Okay.
Because it says ultimately approval does also depend on the following items being provided within Tennessee CAMS upon submission of the RFF.
Right, the request for funds.
Okay, is there a motion to approve this?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve using the Tennessee CARES Act grant of $48,015 to purchase the two trucks. Is there any discussion? If you would call the roll.
Mike,
Aye.
Sandra,
Aye.
Jason, Mayor?
Aye.
Okay,
Motion
carries.
passes 4-0.
Total purchase price would be $49,986.
That's correct.
Not
And
that
the grant is
48.
for 4815 based on our population.
Okay, all right. And that's what's gonna have to come out of general. Okay, I got it.
Yes. It is a reimbursement grant, and that's why the mayor wanted to make sure that we got this approval letter first. But
Right.
that they've given us the approval. All we have to do is fill out the paperwork and we get our money back.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, item 14, any unfinished business? 15, new business. All right, we have removed the 15.1 and 15.2 to the workshop. 15.3, the town has received a $1,500 TML safety grant.
That's just informational, Mayor.
Well, I think we need to approve a grant. Is there a motion to approve accepting the TML safety grant?
I move.
Is there a second?
Whichever one didn't get it, I'll say.
I got
All
it, Sandra.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the $1,500 TML safety grant. Would you call the roll?
Mike,
Aye.
Sandra,
Aye.
Jason,
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye. Motion
Okay.
passes. 15.4, September 17th at 4 o'clock, there will be a photo opportunity to the Falcon office for the recently completed sidewalk grant. Will the contractor, engineer, designers will be there?
We have gotten approval from, or an RSVP from everyone except the grant writers, and there was one other individual that could not be there, but they are going to send someone on behalf.
I think it was the landscaping guy, wasn't it?
I believe so. He had a doctor's appointment, I believe.
Okay, can the rest of the board members be there? I hope.
I won't be able
I
to.
can.
Jason, you can't be there?
No, I won't get off work till 5 o'clock that day.
Okay. All right.
I'll give you permission just to Photoshop me in there.
Okay.
We'll just get somebody to be your body and then we'll just put place your face
I could do that.
Okay. Everybody remember that that's this Thursday at 4 o'clock. I noticed our attorney has joined us here, or his family has joined anyway.
Tom's called. Yeah, he said he had another meeting and he did show up, but I
Yes,
think.
I apologize for my tardiness in joining, but I am not called down to LaGrange very often, but there was a very contentious issue that LaGrange was involved with tonight, so.
Okay. Well,
Tom was really here to discuss the use of force and duty to intervene policies. To help with that.
Tom, we have moved those to the workshop since the chief
Okay.
is not here and since the board has not seen this before. So
Okay.
we're moving that to the workshop in October already. Wow.
Yeah.
We have discussed the 2020 TDOT multimodal transportation grant application. So that completes the agenda. Does anybody have any announcements or anything?
I have one additional item under new business. A couple of years ago, we condemned a property that cost us about $6,000 or so to tear down the building. We did put a lien on that property. It is coming up for a tax sale next Tuesday. Tom, do you know what time that is?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, okay. We are owed about $6,500 with Tom's fees and everything else on that. The county's owed about $700, a little less than that. I discussed with Tom earlier this week that we purchased that that property, and the town would be out of pocket less than $700 for that property. We would get back the rest of it. So we'd be basically paying ourselves to obtain that property, and then we could turn around and sell it. Or the other option is just let it get sold on the courthouse steps, and we could take whatever proceeds come out of it.
And so, Bob, I checked with the clerk and master this afternoon to get a final number on the initial bid that the town would need to enter in order to purchase the property. It's going to be $7,113 and some change. I did not bring that exact number, but it's $7,113 and change. The majority of which, like you said, about 700 of that would be a reimbursement to the town for what the town is already out for the demolition of the property. There will not be anyone else that will make a bid for that property at $7,100. And I spoke with Bill Ray last week, and of course I shared this with you, Bob. The county would not be interested in purchasing that property for that amount. So it would be my recommendation that the town enter that bid at $7,113 and change.
So where is this property?
It's the last property at the end of South Somerville Street, all the way down at 1030 South Somerville Street.
I thought that was Northwest Street. We had that one.
But we also tore that house down too, but this is earlier than that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, basically, the way I view it is that it's going to be, the town is not going to be made whole, but it's a way to avoid any more loss, and it's just really a cost to the town to clear up blight in the town.
Right. So I think we probably need a motion from the board to make that bid. Do we not, Tom?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so moved.
Okay, if there is a motion, is there a second?
Can I ask a question? Is this the right time? I wanted to ask.
No, we need a second first. Well, I will second the motion. All right, now we have a motion and a second to enter the bid of $7,113 and some change on the property at 1030 South Somerville Street at the tax sale. Is there any discussion?
So basically, we're making a motion to purchase this property at $7,100.
Yes, the town, in order to protect against any further loss, it would be in the town's best interest to purchase that property. The town will then be reimbursed for its taxes, which would include the cost of demolition. The only expense to the town would be the taxes to the county, which would have to be paid of approximately $700.
So we're pretty much getting our money back then, except for
Yes.
the $700.
That is correct.
Okay, that's what, before the motion was made, I didn't understand that. That's why I wanted to ask the question. So because I was confused.
We've already spent the money.
Yeah. Yes.
So actually, we would be investing another $700+ in the property.
That's correct.
Okay. That's what I wanted to clarify before a motion was made. So now I understand it now.
Okay, is there any more discussion? If you would call the roll.
Mike?
Aye.
Sandra?
Aye.
Jason? Mayor? Motion carries.
Motion is approved. Is there anything else?
I don't have anything else.
If there's nothing else, we will stand adjourned.
Okay, and don't
See
forget next
y'all
Monday.
Monday night.
And
7 o'clock.
Thursday.
And Thursday at 4.
Right, if you would send out
And we need to
emails.
call Judy and them about that Thursday too, right? Did they already
Right.
know it? Judy and John David and James?
I'll call and make sure.
Make
Okay.
sure they know about both of those, please.
Yeah, I will.
And then certainly send reminders, and you're going to send out to the board members these drawings that you have.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
See y'all Thursday afternoon, or at least
Okay.
some of you.
Y'all have a good evening.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
You too. Okay. Good night.